Hello everyone, my name is Brendan, and in today's video we will be discussing the new DFARS Interim Rule. So on September 29th of 2020, the DoD issued a new DFARS Interim Rule, which was titled Assessing Contractor Implementation of Cybersecurity Requirements. The new rule was highly anticipated for some time, as it was meant to address the new CMMC and discuss what contractors could expect with CMMC. However, the interim rule also added 2 additional clauses on top of CMMC. So the CMMC contract clause, which is 252.204-7021, was expected. However, the 2 contract clauses, 252.204-7019 and 7020, were not. Both of these contract clauses were actually a shock to most people, and people were even more shocked to find out that these contracts are going into effect starting on November 30th of this year. So in addition to all of this, there's been a lot of talk about the new interim rule inside the supply chain, and there's been a lot of misinformation about the new rule. So today we're going to take a closer look at the interim rule so you have a better understanding of the requirements and what you can expect with it. And just a side note, in today's video, we are not going to be talking about the CMMC. If you want to learn more about the CMMC, please check out our other videos on this channel. So let's first take a look at the requirements of the 7019 and 7020 clauses. So in layman's terms, the 7019 clause states that in order to be considered for contract award, for new contracts, or for modified contracts after November 30th, you must have a completed NIST SP 800-171 DoD basic assessment that is no more than 3 years old. And you have to have it uploaded to the SPRS, which is the Supplier Performance Risk System. All of this has to be done by time of contract award. So the DoD basic assessment is just a self-assessment by the contractor that is using the NIST 800-171 DoD assessment methodology and the scoring system that is provided by the DoD. When you go to upload your basic assessment to the SPRS, you're going to have to provide some basic information about your system security plan, such as the system security plan name. You're going to have to provide your CAGE code, or your commercial and government entity program code, and you're going to have to give a brief description of the system security plan and its layout. You're going to have to provide the date of your NIST 800-171 self-assessment. And then you're going to give yourself a total score out of 110 points. These points are subtracted from the 110 controls found within NIST 800-171. Now, not all controls are worth 1 point, and you can actually have a negative score when you do this. However, you have to have it uploaded into the SPRS at time of contract award. So the 7020 clause now is requiring you to be able to provide access to your facility, your systems, and your personnel for the government or the DoD if they do choose to conduct a medium or high NIST 800-171 DoD assessment. So who do these clauses apply to? Both of these clauses will only apply to contractors that have the current 252.204-7012 clause, which is safeguarding covered defense information and cyber incident reporting. They have to have that clause in their contract, and then additionally, your organization is also going to have to handle or store, process, transmit, or create CUI for whoever you're contract with. The CUI should be identified in the contract already, and you should have a good idea if you already are handling CUI or creating CUI for your contractor. Now keep in mind, this is only going to apply for new contracts after November 30th or contracts that are going to be modified or extended. Now, for the 70/20 clause, the government is not going to be providing medium and high NIST 800-171 DoD assessments to every contractor or subcontractor, as it's not feasible. So this was only going to affect somewhere from a few hundred to maybe a few thousand DoD contractors over the next few years. The objective of these new contract clauses is to help contractors eventually become CMMC certified for CMMC Level 3. That's because CMMC Level 3 is the maturity level where contractors will be able to handle CUI. The CMMC is going to be rolled out over the next few years until September 30th, 2025. Then after this date, the DoD is expecting all contracts to have the CMMC clause in them. So the DoD is taking a proactive approach by requiring contractors to meet these requirements now, and it gives the DoD a way to see where everyone currently stands with the NIST 800-171 requirements. Now I just want to give all of you some of my suggestions for the new interim rule. So if you do not receive, handle, or create CUI, then you are not required to follow either the 7019 or 7020 contract clauses. This also means that you're not required to upload a NIST 800-171 DoD Basic Assessment Summary to the SPRS. However, if you do receive, handle, or create CUI for a contractor or for the DoD, then you must comply with both the 7019 and 7020 clauses for new contracts or current contracts if they're modified or extended. This means that you're going to have to upload all of the appropriate materials that I discussed related to both of these clauses to the SPRS at time of contract award. And finally, if you do not know if you receive, handle, or create CUI, then you should first begin by looking through your contract to see if CUI is clearly marked in the contract. And if you still have more questions, then you should reach out to the prime contractor and ask them for more clarification on if you're receiving, handling, or creating CUI for that contractor or for the DoD. That's going to be it for this video. I hope that all this information was helpful and answered many of your questions regarding the new DFARS Interim Rule. I strongly recommend that you take some time and read the new DFARS Interim Rule for yourselves, though. If you have any questions, please put them down in the comments section. Thank you. Have a good day.